Can we start with introductions? So what are your names?
So I'm Anav Vedi.
My name is Arjun Peri.
So I'm Kevin.
To sum it up, we don't really have one clear project that we're specifically working on, but our overall picture is to help Les and the team set up what the functionality of ventures as a VC firm is going to be, what the intricacies of it are going to look like, and what sort of an investment thesis and operating model that our venture wants to follow.
I do think that this was like a super unique experience just in the fact that they have executives coming from the casino gaming industry, and competitive advantage is that they've overcome all the regulatory hurdles and obstacles to allow them to actually invest in companies that have to do with real money wagering and gambling.
Never had exposure to the casino gaming industry, and this really gave me a lot of exposure to that, especially the startups in this industry that I never heard of, and they, just as Anav mentioned, they have a lot of new ideas that can transform this industry. That's kind of exciting. And another aspect is that Arjun mentioned we are doing this sort of consulting project for a startup to help them to refine their pitches. And then I've had experience earlier in analyzing companies, but I never had the experience from the company's perspective trying to attract potential investors. And that's a really refreshing experience that taught me a lot of things, like the way we think about different things from a company's perspective is very different from like an investor's perspective. We are right now doing this research in the impact investing in the venture capital, and this idea really attracts me. So maybe over the long term, I might go into the impact investing. I do see a lot of like potential. You're not only getting like financial returns, but also make impacts on local communities.
The jump and the pivot in our work towards impact investing is kind of refreshing, and just seeing that the industry is not all just about pouring money into startups and getting returns on your own money. I think there are a number of debates about the ethics of venture capital, but if it were to be on the side of impact investing and putting money towards social good and social impact, I think that's an avenue I would take. But also, I mean, startups are a goal that everyone has. I think that's the ultimate objective for me, at least. I don't know how I'm going to get there or what idea I'm going to have for that, but working on the other side of it and seeing an investor's point of view is a really, really valuable experience to have.
I've learned that a lot of these firms have been successful because they've had partners or people who've had experience in specific sectors or industries who understand what the game is all about, and so can project whether a startup is going to do well in that market or not. I'm currently in India, so I'm not in the same time zone as Kevin and Arjun, but I do have to say that they have been really accommodating about the time difference, and we found a way to effectively distribute the work between us, but also consolidate before we present it back to the partners.
The hardest part about virtual for us, I think, I mean, I can't speak for everyone else, but I think this has definitely been a team sentiment. It's not really within our own group, but rather with the companies that we're kind of working with. Like, it's a lot easier to get your ideas across, especially when you're trying to convince a company. I mean, in consulting, you're basically trying to convince a company to take your recommendations forward. And it's a lot easier to do that, and it's a lot easier to conduct business and be more persuasive and assertive in person. So our goal is really, really broad in that we're trying to basically build up this VC fund, and, you know, that doesn't really happen in a 3-month span or however long, 10-week span that we will be on the company. So it's not like we're necessarily going to see 100% the outcome of our work as soon as this internship is over. But for me, it's kind of putting in that groundwork and laying the foundation for something that may be really successful in the future. And you know, this is a really, really innovative idea, and it's a really, really innovative approach to venture capital. So, I mean, if we put in good work now, the hope is that, maybe 2 or 3 years down the line, going to be a leading VC firm in the space. And, we can say, I helped build that up.